We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests, with two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes, sitting and chatting.
Hello and welcome back to the Sit and Chatting podcast. I'm Whyte.
I'm Jamie.
Jamie, you feeling slightly better after yesterday?
Aye. I think because I hadn't ate for so long, it was playing a bit havoc with the old head, which really did bad feelings to my stomach, which really did bad inflammation to my arsehole that was spraying. So, fun times,
30 seconds in.
Fun times. But no, it was at the end of the day, go to work and stuff, so you can really ask for, innit?
On the good life. Just, I suppose, let the viewers know, originally we recorded a podcast that's going out the following week with the guest. We recorded that first, and then we were planning on doing a second one, but about halfway through I could see Jamie just slowly dying in the corner.
Aye.
So that brought an end to things prematurely. So about the 30-minute mark tomorrow, you'll see Jamie slightly dying and not really saying much going forward at the next podcast.
It was bad. I tried my hardest as well, but I was like, nah, I'm fucked here. Like, I couldn't handle it in the mirror. I was like, this is just dire.
The worst part as well was it was so painfully obvious. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So, like,
no, it was honestly such a good podcast as well. And I wish I was fucking... oh, yeah, look, somebody's famous just phoning me.
Wow, the George Ezra. Incredible.
Oh, fucking Jesus.
Do they not know that you're doing a sitting and chatting podcast?
Oh, they're not, the fucking absolute whelp. But I know, honestly, it was a good podcast. And
I know, genuinely, and I'm not putting on this on you at all, because obviously you can't help it if you feel unwell, but I think that would have been like genuinely like the top tier. Also, we'd done our like categories not that long ago. I think that possibly
it was that top tier, but for me it was obviously one of my lesser ones, you know.
But nah, well done to the guests. You'll see next week, and you can enjoy about an interesting few stories abroad, certainly.
It was.
But yeah, staying more locally, I suppose. We're definitely going back into lockdown again at some point soon, aren't we?
Oh, Leon, can't be saying stuff like that, Leon. Look, see, you've got to keep the faith, mate.
Do you have the faith, honestly?
No, we're going back into lockdown. We are well going back into lockdown, and I look fucking forward to it. Fuck it.
Honestly, all you bastards causing all the problems.
I never bother you cunt. Nah, truth be told is we are going to probably go into another lockdown, whether it be a big one or or on a much larger scale.
Yeah,
it's most likely going to happen, but
in Scotland certainly might not be the case down in England.
Yeah, you know what? We'll see what happens, obviously, because it's a touchy subject for most people, isn't it? Really.
I know. Also, your fucking keyboard is loud as fuck, or mouse or whatever is loud as fuck.
I just keep tapping my way with it because I'm like, I don't know,
fidgety bastard.
I know I'm not normally like this as well, but right off you fidgety, nervous.
Oh yeah. No, 80 podcasts in there later, you're panicking.
I've got to miss my job. But no, hopefully it doesn't happen. But it's it's on a downward spiral, especially with this new Asian or Indian variant coming in.
I know, I didn't even know about that until about a week ago, but obviously for those that maybe don't know, in India at the moment, it's basically coming up to the biggest festival of the year in India in general. It's quite a religious country, and this massive event that takes place in the capital city, there's going to be 1 million people in attendance, no masks, so no one's going to be vaccinated. It's basically all fucked, and because 90% of the vaccinations come from India, yeah, it's made it a bit slower getting out to the rest of the world, which probably means we're fucked in hindsight.
Yep. But hey, just keep smiling.
Smiling wave, boys. Smiling wave. All I'm hoping for is I can get to the end of next week, nothing's happened, and then we're all going to be good.
I know. We'll see what happens though. It's a matter of time, but we wait and we move.
I know.
You know, it's what it is.
We might genuinely end up doing another full fucking year of these on this.
Hey! Not better than that though. Don't need to smell you. Fuck's sake.
Fuck off. Speaking of which, today, right, a bit of a story happened today. So, you know, man obviously got a new trim for, you know, going out the weekend, you know, wanting to look good.
Horrible.
Got there this morning, first boy in the shop. And my hairdresser, I swear to God, new guy that started, it was the worst smelling individual I have ever smelled in my entire life. I spent a good majority of the 45 minutes trying not to whitey. It was that fucking horrific.
Wow.
The guy just kept burping and farting. It was a fucking worst experience in my life getting it done.
Wow.
But you know what? He does a good haircut, so I mean, you know, there's that at least.
Oh, is it him that done that? Because that's terrible.
I mean, it's fucking incredible, you know.
Did you pay for that?
It's fucking wonderful, you know it.
Fucking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But no, a wee trim's something that, you know, I need to get myself sorted out with. It's been a wee while.
Yeah, watch out if you go back to my place in case you
my wee cousin does it for me.
On the house, I take it.
Oh, fuck guy. Big up by the way. What a human being.
No, to be fair, your haircuts do look like they are for free.
Very good. I'd rather no pay for that heap of shit than get a fucking free. I can't.
You'll love it.
That's fucking.
The mohawk is on point.
Terrifying. But what was I going to say as well? I was going to. So on stories are rather funny retail situations today, right, of all days, right?
When you're in for just a few hours.
I was in for 4 hours, right? I witnessed some disturbing scenes.
In what way?
So I went out to fucking Superdrug, right?
Right.
Which you know is probably about 40 steps for me.
Yeah.
Walks out, turns right. What do I get confronted with? A guy up against the wall with a lassie, which appears to be his hand down, said trousers, what appears to be giving her a good time. In the corner, next to Zara, and the shop's shut down, obviously.
In the middle of the shopping centre.
In the middle of the centre, people walking
on a Saturday.
With people walking by, kids, everything. So then, I made nothing of it, went into Superdrug, got my gear, came back out.
Oh, your gear?
Aye.
You mad coke fiend.
Aye, dealer works in there. Walked back out, looked to my left to see if I'm still there, and the guy's tackling with a security guard.
I wonder why.
With his fishy fucking fingers. As he's punching this fucking security guard. There's two of them on them. Two security guards.
What age is the boy?
Probably about 28, 30-ish. But a junkie bastard, obviously. No somebody that's,
not a normal individual.
Exactly. And he's throwing punches. One cunt's tackling him from behind, the other one's fucking leathering him in the front. They get him down, get him out. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant. Unbelievable. And she's like, leave him alone. You know, that junkie away. Why leave him, man? So I was good representation as well. So I walked back in, and you know something? I got fronted with a customer as I walked back in.
Yeah.
I told nobody the story. So it's exclusive. You're welcome.
I mean, someone definitely recorded it. It's probably on Twitter or Snapchat or TikTok or something.
I hope so, because it was bad. Like it was. Speaking of TikTok, by the way.
Oh God.
Let's go on another wee tangent here. Speaking of TikTok, right? What a fucking app. But anyway.
Can I end the call now?
Connor, previous guest, well, in fact, no, previous guest is he was the one that had the viral TikTok, aye.
Well, Connor and Angus together had the viral TikTok.
What was it? How much likes and stuff was it again?
It was close to 2 or something.
Close to what?
2 mil, I think it was, they said.
Close to 2 mil?
Yeah.
So I looked at the analytics on the TikTok I had, right? And see the comparison to getting 2 million likes is effectively, they're getting a tier list, right? So, influencer stage, right, is generally what it's called. is
I hate that. I hate it.
is 1.5 is 1.5 mil likes to 2 mil and above, obviously. 1.5 plus mil likes, right? So I was looking in the brackets. I'm sat at what was it they called it?
Please don't tell me it's this cringy as influencer.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Wrap out the app, see if you can see it now.
So
is this like to tell you as well how much money and shit you're making off it as well?
So if
This is monetized.
This is going to play a video. That's not a fuck.
I was just going to say mute your phone before.
Yeah, right. So
right, go on. Tell me the tiers.
I can't find the tiers, but
all right.
I need to go deep into it and log in and that. Fuck that shit. But my tier, right, for the video I had that got 18,000 likes or whatever it is, right?
What video did you put up?
If I speak, I am in trouble.
No, you have to. Please don't tell me it's you against that full length Nether doing a fucking dance.
Tell you what, at Tagsbro is my TikTok.
No,
there you go.
No, I'm bleeping that. I'm bleeping it.
Right, that's your choice. That's your prerogative. At Tagsbro.
I'm blocking it again.
At Tagsbro.
There's a black box currently across your mouth.
Mine's is up and coming star. For a video that got 18,100 likes.
No, be honest, right? Tell me what it is. You'd have to go into details to say what the video's about. Is it you doing like some dancing or is it a cod trick show or what is it?
Have you not seen it?
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe I have, but...
So...
Oh, no, you have to say that. You have to say.
Right, so it's a compilation of all the videos I took in George Square.
Oh, yeah, no, you've shown me that one.
Yeah. So that's got 18,000 likes and like over 1,000 comments. But I also managed to gain from that one video 1,312 followers.
Right. To follow your drivel pish.
I'm an up-and-coming star on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen.
You know now the thumbnail of this is just going to be you in a bucket hat with TikTok on a hoodie in front of it, just like
at Tagsbro.
Again, blocked out. You've
not got the patience to edit that much.
Normally I would, but unfortunately I'm quite busy, so I might actually not be able to. Normally, I would, especially for TikTok, I would make the effort to deliberately block it out, but maybe no this time.
Well, I seen because obviously I remembered Connor's Connor and I think it's his TikTok. I remember like talking about it, and I just thought it was quite funny, so I went and checked the analytics for mine, and it was quite mad.
Anyway, that'll be a good segue. So you went to George Square. Do you want to explain to the listeners why you were in George Square? Was there anything that happened that day?
Fuck it. So Saturday the 15th for me, 2021 to be precise. Rangers Football Club lifted the first title.
The first ever title.
Very good. Of the decade. There we go.
Yeah, true. They are only a decade old, so you're
correct. Again, very good. It was a 55th title, and it was stopping Celtic from winning the 10 in a row. It was a good day.
Give you credit for.
It was a very special day. It was a good day. We've got a Liverpool legend taking us there as well, which made it all the more sweeter.
Fabber for me.
And emotions got the better of most people, and there was a gathering of 15,000 Rangers fans in George Square and surrounding areas near Ibrox. Obviously the Squinty Bridge as well as George Square and St.
Were you on that bridge?
No. So I was working during the day, and I says to the Jazz, said to me, "Are you going to George Square and stuff?" I was like, "Nah, probably not." I wanted to go on the basis that it was like, obviously it was a memorable day and stuff. I was like, nah, probably no, because obviously there's, as much as people like to joke and laugh about it, there was precautions taken. was like, it's not really worth risking COVID or nothing like that.
You're getting tested though at the moment, aren't you, for work?
Yeah, but I was like, no point risking it. I'll probably just leave it. Plus, they were blocking off motorway for people going into Glasgow without a G postcode. So I was like, we'll go on the motorway and need to turn back. There's no point. Fuck it. Right, cool. So I get home and my dad's steaming. He's been watching the title getting lifted in the house. He's fucking rat-arsed. He's like, we've got to Glasgow. And I goes, right. Jumps in the car. Away to go.
Remember your dad?
No, he shat the bed after he was steaming. So he shat it. So, but I'd pre-arranged to meet a couple of people up there. So I still went and met with the boys and stuff. And we went to George Square and it was a bit chaotic, was a bit wild. People were being fannies. A very select few people, though. It was a minority.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong here. I, in my opinion, thought it was wrong when Liverpool done it as well when they won the league. I understand why they done it. It's obviously not great when they done it. I thought it was bad as well when, Man City done it, albeit, let's face it, not really on the same scale.
No fans.
And I'm not also a big fan of what happened when Rangers won the title. However, in your defence, because I will accept that you probably gotten quite a bit of stick for it, and also might get some stick for this afterwards. I will say, in your defence, I ken you're not a Mongo when it comes to these things. I ken you weren't going out there with the intention of fighting anyone. You're just going to go to enjoy your mates, and I couldn't say for certain if I was in your position if I maybe would or wouldn't have not gone. So, whilst I can't exactly say I'm thrilled about what happened in Glasgow, I also wouldn't particularly hold it over your head. I do understand why you went.
Aye, I mean, I've had a very few people never took into consideration the consequences. I did. I thought about it, and then I thought, fuck it. Because when...
Oh, you're being honest. That's
but like, when can you say your team's done something so historic, through your lifetime? Do you know what I mean? It's very rare that something like that happens, so...
Well, unfortunately, Liverpool and Scotland for me, but yeah, I missed
that. But the thing is, Liverpool done something historic when they came back against Barcelona.
Yeah.
And we won the Champions League.
Right, okay, you're talking about the full season and that sort of thing.
Yeah, because obviously...
I still think, though, at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, the fact that he's went unbeaten obviously made it a historic season, but I still think you would have seen as many people out had you just won the title under normal circumstances. Because obviously it's been so long for you guys. I think there would have been that many people out anyway.
Yeah, definitely. But people can say what they want. It was a great time, and I wouldn't, I haven't been there now. I wouldn't go back on it. I would still do it again. Fuck them.
What's the maddest thing you've seen then?
A guy with a bottle hanging at his arm.
What?
Yeah, a guy with a bottle literally hanging out of his arm. It's been stuck on him on his arm.
How big was the fucking bottle?
So a bottle of Budweiser had been smashing.
I know. I'm saying though, I don't know if it was a smashed one or if it was just fucking rammed straight in there.
No, it was a smashed one, stuck in him, gushing the blood everywhere. And there was a guy with a big bulge out his head as well, gushing everywhere. So
why was that happening? But obviously, because let's face it, no fucking Celtic fans would be out that day. It would only be...
So basically, what was happening, right, is the best way I could describe it is there was a minority fans. So basically, when they're letting people into George Square, right, understandably. So police had the riot vans set up and they were blocking into George Square. They weren't allowing people in, right? Rangers fans didn't take too kind to that. So there was a lot of people up reasoning with them, trying to get them to let us in. Wasn't for happening. So loads of people they were climbing up the buildings, walking along and jumping down. And then a lot of people were going under the vans and then running away inside George Square. So the police weren't containing them anyway. So people were seeing that, these certain individuals were seeing this happening and then were telling the police were doing nothing about it. So they started throwing bottles and stuff off of the riot vans, and letting off fireworks and pointing at the vans and pointing at the officers and stuff, being fannies. So that small minority were then getting told to stop, and they wouldn't stop.
Rangers fans.
So other Rangers fans were kicking fuck at them to tell them to stop because it was making us look bad, you know. And then basically, like the Sun and stuff would video it and be like, Rangers fans turn against each other, when it's not the case. It was a couple of individuals being dickheads, and other Rangers fans trying to stop them from smashing up the police motors. But obviously, it doesn't get portrayed like that in the news, which is fine because like no one likes us. We don't care. So
I'll say that again.
aye, but it was it's annoying in the sense of, you know, we weren't doing anything untoward yet. You were getting punished.
Oh, you weren't specifically.
No, but majority of Rangers fans were not doing anything untoward other than celebrating.
Okay.
You know, singing songs, letting off flares and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fighting and the police officers, that's, you know, silly.
It's silly. It's naughty boys.
So that was that. But no, it was a good day. Enjoyed it. That was the main thing. You know.
So, well, from one set of fighting to another, TikTok v YouTubers.
Embarrassing. Let's move on.
There was a press conference which I'll be honest, I didn't watch, but I seen Will and E's reaction to it.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good. It does not look good.
I mean, one of the moments that I've seen that I was taken back by was.
Did you watch this, sorry?
No, I didn't know. But I watched the highlights as well. Like you said, I watched it from Will and E and Minimitter's point of view.
Right.
And I seen the situation with Vinnie Hacker and how Fusich pretty much says that Vinnie Hacker was an easy fight and Deji's ripped the piss out of Fusich. And that's all well and good. But what I then done was done a bit of research on Vinnie Hacker and found out that he's barely trained.
Yeah.
And he's been doing promotional TikToks for the past 3 weeks from that date. I thought to myself, right.
You can still make videos and train, to be fair.
You can, but he's not been training. So I thought to myself, this is a bit odd because Deji's probably the main card on that. Although.
Oh, he's undercard to Bryce and
although he's undercard, he's probably the main card.
Yeah.
For a viewing point of view.
Sorry, you need to stop. Whatever you're moving, it sounds like fucking sandpaper in my ears. You need to stop that.
But aye, he's the main fight and most for viewing purposes. You know, it's JJ's bra. If he beats Vinnie Hacker, he'll then get an opportunity to go to somebody better again. So I found it very fucking peculiar Vinnie Hacker's taking this so lightly. If it was me, I'd have been training like fuck to beat him, because then if you beat him, you can then go and call out Jake Paul, theoretically.
Yeah. Maybe not anymore. It's maybe a wee bit past that now, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. You can move on and do something more with your career. That's the thing. Like these, like you've seen it as well. Like these folk don't care. Like all of them, apart from the UK folk, were like, you know, oh yeah, doing this for money. Like, oh, that's a great deal. I'm doing it for money, basically. Yeah. Like, could you imagine if you spent like, you know, I don't know how much the pay-per-view event is, but I imagine it's a ridiculous price. Imagine if you spent however 20, 30, 40, 50 quid, whatever it is, to watch just all your favourite content producers just say, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Now, yes, it might be entertaining to see them get beat up in a sense, but, you know, if you're actually in it for the love of the sport, you will not watch this event.
It was Vinnie Hacker in particular, Tanner Fox in particular, who's representing YouTube.
Yeah.
When he says, I'm in it for money. It was like, it's just embarrassing. Fucking popular of the day, so fucking genius. But I found I was at fucking Tanner Fox, why you taking this fight? I like money.
I mean, in like a very small way, I respect the honesty in it. He's not BSing. He's not saying I'm doing it for the love of the sport. He's not saying I grew up watching and love boxing. This has always been something I want to do. He has been honest, which, I'll give him a bit of respect for. But at the same time, you must understand that if this thing flops, which it looks like it probably will do at this point, you're not going to make back your money from this probably. You might even make a loss from it. So it's a bit of a stupid maneuver. It's the thing as well of just like, I don't want to be like, as much as I love ripping into Americans and American sort of side of YouTube and TikTok and all that, it does make you appreciate how well the UK events were done and like, how much like preparation and behind the scenes work and characters that they got for it. Because this looks like such a pale amateur in comparison, doesn't it?
Yep. Aye, doesn't look good at all.
No.
And I hope it turns out shit as well.
I do as well. And then, of course, actually, just before we go on to it then as well, Keemstar and FaceTube, what a dream combo to host a fucking event.
Absolutely embarrassing.
Don't get me wrong, I thought actually Keem in the clips that I seen was actually alright. He didn't seem to do anything wrong. He was okay with his line of questioning. He wasn't too cringy. But fucking FaceTube.
I don't even know why he was there. I don't know how he's still relevant.
Have you not seen though, like for this entire like month leading up to this boxing thing, he's been like talking to all the YouTubers and TikTok stars, and they're just like fucking, he's like going around interviewing them constantly. So he's been like involved from the start for some reason. So I mean, it makes sense since he's been involved from the start that he would do the interviews, but he's so fucking mad. He's so like cringy and embarrassing. And it makes you realise how good people like, Eddie Hearn or True Geordie are when they do these sorts of things. Because
his Cosmax me still relevant though. He's just a fucking weapon, I can't.
Yes.
So it makes me a bit mad.
Do you remember that Fuzi con thing that he done when he done his own live show?
I thought he'd went after the rails, to be fair.
Well, he seems that he's come back, and to be fair, good on him because the guy's clearly got mental problems, which
It was. I used to watch him when I was younger.
Really, I've never seen his
content. So his original content I used to watch back in the day when he was like good pals with Vidali. They used to do public pranks. That was funny.
Was it?
That content was good back in the day.
Was it funny though because you're a Wayne?
Probably.
If you went back and watched those videos now, do you think you'd laugh?
No, obviously not. But it's because I'm humorous now, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And then of course
I've always been funny.
Aye. And then of course to end the whole thing, and then Bryce Hall got, well, I want to say dropped, but he didn't really get dropped, but he got knocked down.
Yeah.
And he tried to be the big man and square up to Austin McBroom, which, isn't a good look for him. Fucking absolute weapon, a cunt as well.
I kind of know, aye.
Well,
all the TikTokers are gimpers, but...
Yep. I've been telling you this for years.
You watch your own TikTok, but you're...
I don't watch TikTok.
That's what I mean, no, that's your issue. You focus too much on the cringy styles and stuff.
No. I promise you, hand on heart, the only TikToks I've ever seen are if someone's watching them in a YouTube video or the ones that you or Dylan have sent me. Those are the only ones I've ever seen. But not as much as you. But yeah, no, it's no good look for him, is it? Considering he's about 10 years younger than Austin McBroom, and it's like a week or so before the fight, he's getting knocked down by him very easily as well. Basically, no effort getting put into it.
Right.
And then he's calling out KSI on Twitter and that.
Got killed on that too, yeah.
He'd be the worst thing as well, though, is right. Don't get me wrong, say if you're a fan of someone, I understand it's sometimes hard to accept that they're in the wrong or whatever. But I did see his tweets towards Dejing KSI just being fuck you, I'll floor you easily, you're both fat, all that shit. And you just look under the comments, obviously when he got pushed over basically. And you just see all his fans going yeah, no, you had him on the ropes, he was scared, he didn't actually push you down, you just tripped over sort of thing, you're the best, basically. It's just are you that I've never been that fucking blind with anyone that I've like watched or respected. Like, if someone's fucked up, I could accept. Like, yeah, okay, I might like this person, but they fucked up. There's nothing wrong with accepting that, but there seems to be a real case of, no, he's my favorite star. Like, I would accept that he's done something wrong in that sort of circumstance, which I find's a really weird mentality to do.
Who James Charles and stuff have still got a following though, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose if you like, it gets up to a certain point, I suppose, isn't it, where you're too big to almost fail in a certain sense.
Yeah, we had that scandal where he was talking to underage boys, and it's like, you're in Scotland for that, you get killed. Do you know what I mean? So
it's a very sort of different mindset, isn't it? Well, not entirely, but there is a different mindset between it here and like over there, isn't it?
Mental.
Which is weird as well, because they're a lot more strict with like in terms of like, you know, having sex like before 18, like whereas over here it's like 16. But
yeah,
over here, you know,
but talking to them's a bit different though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I suppose. And, you know, I to be honest, I don't know much. I know that obviously he got called out for it. I didn't know if he genuinely knew if the guy was underage or not. But because obviously there's unfortunate cases. We're actually talking about this the other night with someone who will remain anonymous for obvious reasons. But they went out for a night out in Dundee back when everything was open. Went to like obviously a nightclub, having a good time chatting to this lassie. You know, was all going good. He was thinking he was getting his whole, all was about to go well. But then she said at the last second, actually, I need to sort of go home. I'm not feeling too great. So it was like, all right. And so like they exchanged like Instagram or whatever details. So like they could get in contact the next time they're out. Gets home, wakes up the next morning and seeing that she's put up a story, looks at it, she's away off to school. Which is fucking terrifying to think about, isn't it? Because obviously he didn't fucking know that she was like, you know, in a club environment, just presumed like, you know, must be of age. You know?
You can be 18 and being at school though, right?
No, but she wasn't even 18. She was like fucking like 16 or something like that. She just used a friend's fake ID, it turned out, because obviously he was like, you know, what the fuck? You told me that you were in university sort of thing. And she was like, yeah, no, sorry, I just wanted to chat to you, basically. And just like, do you know, like, what this could mean for me, basically? If, like, this was...
How old was she? Was she 17 or that?
She was 16.
Fuck's yeah. No, to be fair, it's legal though, even that, you know.
No, but it's obviously, like, you know, he doesn't obviously want to be with someone that's 16 and, you know...
No, granted, but...
Like, she specifically told them, like, you know, she was, like, 19 or something and was at university in Dundee. So he just thought, you know, like, you know, in a club environment, oh yeah, must be, that's fine. But that is fucking so bad. And obviously, like you said, like, there's nothing illegal about that if anything were to happen. But at that point, you have a fucking reputation if something did happen that you can't escape and it's nothing due to that person's fault.
Yeah.
Which is fucking terrifying to think about.
Yeah. It's a bit mental. Fucking scary.
But yeah, anyway, I presume you're quite confident then Dej is going to win.
I would imagine he'll win. If it doesn't, he's shite and deserves to stop boxing.
Same with Austin McBroom. You know, I was thinking before this because Bryce Hall's got the reputation of the wee cunt that goes around battering folk at events. So I thought, he can probably throw a bit. He's probably going to win, considering as well he's younger. But after seeing him get floored in a press conference, not got the biggest of faith in him.
I hope no TikTokers win other than the one that's fighting Tanner Fox. I want that wee fucking gimp to lose.
He's not as a nice guy though.
No, he's a gimp.
What does he do? What does he actually do?
YouTube shite content.
Nah, but like what? Like does he?
What was it? The content is like lifestyle content, just shite. He used to go up with that Taylor Alicia.
Who?
Her name was Taylor Alicia. She was tidy and he fucked it. She was a mongo, so fuck him. Again, end that story.
Living the good life.
I hope he gets fucking lit up, but if other cunt wins, that's YouTube. That would be the ideal situation for me.
In terms of an event that people will actually be more interested in, though, the Friends reunion's coming back now. You might see here that me and Jamie are slightly struggling for topics, mainly because Jamie's never watched Friends. This will be me taking the ropes, but obviously, I think you as well would probably agree, though, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest shows that ever came out, basically.
Nah, still good. Good done. Nah,
Scotland, yeah.
Nah, I would agree. I've never not seen it. I've seen clips and I think I've seen a couple of episodes, but I've never watched it to the extent where I know everything that happens and shit. Like I know they all meet in a cafe and stuff, and
it's one of those things where like I never seen it until I was in college. I only watched it because I was really ill for 2 weeks, and then I just binged the full thing. I'm really bad with that. If I start watching something, I have to finish it. I can't like leave it halfway through. And I'll just watch like episodes for days, basically. But no, I think
I could name all the main characters though.
What's that?
I think I could name all the main characters though.
Go on.
So Ross, Phoebe,
yep,
Rachel,
yep,
Monica,
yep,
Chandler,
yep, one more,
Joey.
Yep, you've done
it. So I've watched that enough to know that much.
Yeah. I mean, like that sort of shows though, doesn't it? You've never seen a full episode, but you still know all the characters and you know how iconic the show is.
Yeah.
I know in recent years it's sort of been like every sort of show that was made before 2010, it's sort of got that issue of people on Twitter have tried to cancel it because, you know, the jokes aren't appropriate these days and, you know, people are calling out saying it's actually not that funny. But I don't know. I always thought it was pretty funny. I just always found it like a good show to like kind of have in the background, just kind of like turn your mind off and just have like kind of mindless entertainment.
For us sat here right now at the end of this podcast, should I go watch it?
Are you someone that will just sit down and just like have the TV on in the background, watch somebody? Then no, I don't think. Like, I think you can get into it. I think you can enjoy it, but I think it's one of those things like you and me are quite different in the way that we watch TV. I suppose like you don't watch it like as much as I would. I say. Like it's an enjoyable show, and I think you would laugh at some of the points. It's just kind of like mindless entertainment, though, which is good to like, you know. If
is there never a storyline or that?
No, there is. There's always like continuing story arcs from like season 1 all the way to season 10, and you know it's a long show. It went on for 10 years, 94 to 2004, so 17 years since it's ended. Yeah, I mean, like they do like story arcs that will literally last like seasons like long, and each like there's something like 24 episodes a season, so it's like there's a lot of like content.
How long is it per episode?
Like 20 minutes. It's not long an episode, so like, and obviously as well because it's all Netflix, it's easy viewing. So like if you're usually what I would do is like if I'm eating my tea or if I'm like going to bed or something, I'd have it on like in the background to watch like a few episodes, then you know can turn off. It's like nice easy viewing, and the characters are pretty nice for the most part. You know, you can get behind a lot of them, and there's quite a few funny story arcs in a sense. But yeah, anyway, it's coming back to the first time the cast are all together in 17 years.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird, that isn't it? Like, imagine you're working with someone every day for like 10 years, and then you just suddenly don't see them again for like another 17 years. I found that kind of odd in the sense of like it is actually like a real job for them then, like because obviously once you leave a job you often don't sort of see those people again sort of thing, even though you see them every day for like years and years sort of thing. But now like they all get together, and then like a few like Matthew Perry as well, the one that plays Chandler's had like quite a lot of problems with like drug addiction and drink addiction. So I think they're going to like be bringing that up and like his kind of sort of behind the scenes of the show, if that makes sense.
What's the reunion based on?
Like it's not like an actual like proper episode as such. It's not like a new episode of them coming back together. It's just like them sort of sitting down chatting to each other and chatting to like people that used to be on the show, like guests and that, and then sort of like going over like memories of it as such.
Okay.
But no, I mean, it seems quite interesting. I'm hoping to see it at some point.
When does it come out?
27th, which is, what's the date today?
5 days ago.
Yeah, so we're recording this on the 22nd, so yeah, 5 days away. But yeah, no, it looks good. I'm looking forward to it. I think you would enjoy it probably. I just don't think that you'd be the kind of person that would sit there and watch all the way through. I think you'd be the kind of person that'd be quite happy to have like a few episodes watching here and there, sort of thing. But I mean, the good thing about it is like if you know the characters and you know roughly what they do, you can sort of watch any episode at a random point. I know I said there's continuing story arcs, but it is one of those shows where like a lot of episodes will just be like a new adventure for the day, so to speak.
Yeah. It's a bit like the way Family Guy set up in it. That's another thing I've never watched. And Family Guy's like a new story for every episode.
Yeah, nah, it's not as bad as like say Simpsons or something like that, where there's no continuity like ever. Like there are like one of the main sort of arcs is from the very first season is Ross and Rachel becoming a couple.
Well, you spoiled it. That's it. I'm done.
No, I didn't say what happened. You fanny.
Get done. Call me a fanny,
But literally, that arc starts from the very first episode and lasts to the very last episode. So it's a full 10-year story.
That's it spoiled now. Cheers.
Didn't say what happened, did I?
Okay, fine.
But I'm looking forward to that, and you know, I hope it doesn't get the sort of.
I hope there's no backlash for it.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I get fed up with that because a lot of I grew up. I don't know if I mentioned this before in the podcast, but I'm someone that didn't grow up with Sky or anything on TV. I grew up with a grand total of 5 channels on a TV that was about this fucking wide. And you got BBC One, BBC Two, STV, Channel 4, Channel 5. So I never like had like kid shows on. It would always be like, you know, Only Fools and Horses, Still Game, Burniston, Porridge, Family, Faulty Towers, you know, all these shows which nowadays are receiving backlash and folks saying, this isn't appropriate. Like, no shit, it's not appropriate. The jokes they're telling are from 1975. They're like 45-year-old jokes. Of course they're not going to be appropriate for today's culture.
In-Betweeners, man, that was the one that done it for me.
What, folk are cancelling the In-Betweeners? Fuck off. No, they're not. Surely not.
Terrible, isn't it?
But that's like that's no, do you know what as well, right? That's a great example of something that has to be like that, because that is the most accurate representation of being a British teenager in that sort of time era. There's not a more accurate and faithful story being told than the one that's in the In-Betweeners. I
know. It's like, mad though.
But yeah, like people don't understand that's actually how like fucking like folk talk. Like they might not want to admit it, and they might not want to like post it on social media, but that is how you talk when you're with your friends at that age.
100%. 100%. I've got something to ask, right?
Go on.
So I never really do this, right?
Okay.
But after this podcast, so let's say it ends in half an hour for now, right? Let's just say. Right. It would then be around about 3:30 in the day.
Right.
What's your plans after it? What's your plans after? What's the rest of the day?
What's my plans after that? Well, it is coming up on my birthday. My friends are very kindly taking me to the pub after this. So gonna get a shower, change, have a bit of tea, and then just get ready for the pub. Have a night of alcohol. Why?
What pub are you going?
Kilted. How come?
Dear me. Nah, you know, it's a curiosity like, of what's happening after this. You know, the old illusion we do a podcast every week, then what happens?
Well, I mean, the thing is, right, this is like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, we always like spoke a lot beforehand and we always like chatted a lot in general. But because we've gone to the period now of sticking to doing these once a week, and now as well, we've since like March, we've been playing football once or twice a week in that time as well. Like, this is the most we've seen each other in that time.
True. So you're going to pub at Kilted. My wee sister just started working at Kilted.
Is she actually? What, is she working tonight?
No.
I was going to say.
Oh, fuck. But, so who's up there? Any former guests?
Any former guests? There will be Francis there. his girlfriend. It'll be Lewis and Chloe together, and big old Fergus as well is making the trip down from Dundee.
Dear me, so there's 2 guests, 2 former guests.
3, Francis, Lewis, and Fergus.
So that's a good point. There you go. 3 former guests. Wow.
Good life. What about you then?
Hold on. Let's rate them one top to bottom now. In terms of guest quality.
In terms of guest quality,
you read it. Go. Who's the best guest at the theatre?
Actually, do you know what? It's fine because I know none of them will watch it, so I can get away with this.
Definitely clipping this.
Fuck off. And just in terms of being a guest, yeah, and the podcast as a whole, Francis, Fergus, Lewis.
Clipped and sent.
But it's fine because it's weird because Friends order is probably reversed. But,
Defo's clipping this.
I know. But I think that's potential. Like, I mean, you and me kind of talked about this before, but that shows, doesn't it? Like, I've known Lewis now for 22 years of my life. Yeah, well, okay, 21 and a bit years of my life now. Like, and you know, it sort of shows that sometimes the guests you know the least, and at the time I knew Francis the least, and well, I still know him the least out of all of them, but at the time, you know, I was friends with Francis the least amount of time, but we still rated it as one of the best podcasts we've ever done. Yeah. Right, and like point and proven as well, again, like if you look at the best guest episodes we've ever done, most of them, bar the Ewan one, I'd say, are all people that both you and I don't know well at all. Yeah. And it sort of shows, doesn't it, that maybe if you've got someone on that you know too well, you can't really think of questions because in your mind you've already discussed it 100 times, but you don't think to ask them in terms of a podcast environment.
Exactly. What I will say is, just so for everybody listening, to put in context, I've still yet to get an invite. It must be in the post, but yet to get one.
For tonight.
Aye, we'll move on. We'll move on.
Well, thankfully for you, you're going out on the glorious next Saturday for a wonderful foot golf session, then Champions League. So don't say I don't treat you to a good night.
Still a prick.
Love you too. So what about you? What's the plans for Jamie's night?
Well, I was going to go to Kelted, but look at that. My plans. Well, I'm going to, after this podcast, I'm going to finish some Google training for my manager.
How long does that take?
Probably about 40 minutes, if it lets me do it. But
is your internet going to be down?
No, it's nothing like that. It'll take me 15 minutes. So I'll be then going to sleep, going for a nap, waking up, get a shower, and then we're going out for a meal. Me and mum, dad, cousin, her boyfriend, and her dad. We're going to the Hollybank.
Nice. I've never actually eaten up there, you know.
Oh, what a place! Generally, what a place. We'll go sometime.
100th episode special.
No.
We'll take the mics up.
So we're going there. Beautiful restaurant. But anyway, we'll get scranned at Reed. Probably have a few drinks. And then back to theirs because Josh Taylor's fighting tonight, which is it's my uncle's and my cousin's boyfriend's. It's their favourite boxer.
Yeah.
And I've liked him, but never really been too fond staying up and watching his fights or whatever. But he's fighting tonight at 3 AM, or tomorrow, should I say, at 3 AM. So we're going to watch that. So yeah.
Long night.
Yeah, that's the plans. But I'll be fucking steaming, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you and me both.
I'll probably message you at some point saying, right, when we're meeting up and get fucking ruined.
You are one of the biggest spam pots when you've had a drink.
No fucking chance. I'm an actual pizza drunk. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can we talk about the New Year's story of mine?
What New Year's story?
The one after you were at Foo Barn and you came down to my party afterwards.
Fucking. What even happened that night?
That's a good point. So, to give a wee bit of context, Jamie, well, I think about like 3 days before this, we had just recorded a podcast and some lovely individuals had placed bins in front of his car, you know, and removed his windscreen wipers. Wasn't the nicest thing to do, understandably. So Jamie was at Fubar having a wonderful time. I was in my gaff with my mates having a wonderful time. About 3 a.m, he sent home, you know, spa still going on. Yeah, of course, come down in. Come stumbling into my flat, holding some beers in one hand and what do you call it? Not a hubcap, but like fucking like alloy cover in the other hand. And I'm just looking at him, and I'm looking down, I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at this, and he's like, "All right." And I'm just like, "What is that?" It's like, "Oh, you know those dicks, right? You know the ones that put the bins in front of my car. You know the ones that put the bins in front of the car." I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "I found them. I know which car it was." I was like, "How do you find it?" I was like, "Doesn't matter. So I got one back. I ripped this off of them. I was like, "What car have you just ripped that off?" It's like, "Doesn't matter." Doesn't matter. Comes in and then just acts nothing about it. And then, of course, you know, about, I don't know, like 2 hours
You still got that alley?
Oh, fuck.
That would have been class, man. Imagine you still kept it.
And here today. And that got chucked out the next morning, because then, of course, like Jamie was like, "I'm taking this home. This is getting framed on the wall." I'm like, "Is it? Aye, of course it is." And then, so of course, about 2 hours later, Jamie then stumbles up the road as he does, and of course leaves the fucking alloy in my flat for some reason. Next day, I go down to try and see, well, I say next day, that same morning, I go down to try and, when I'm cleaning everything up, I go down to try and see if I can find the car that he's ripped off. Of course, none of the cars in the car park had an alloy ripped off it. So at some point between Fubar and my flat, you've gone up to some random car, and don't try and say it wasn't random, and you've ripped the alloy clean off it.
I can't mind any of that.
Well, you clearly remember now the alloy, but
I remember the alloy, but I don't remember where I took it for, or if I got it.
Exactly. So that was then the evidence was disposed of the next day, shall we say?
Love it.
But yeah, he's a peachy drunk, as they say.
Hey, I came in and I supplied you with a minimum of an hour of good laugh.
Of course you did, which I always appreciate it.
Because that's what I bring, you know, I bring to the table is good vibes, good laughs.
I will say as well, right, whenever you and me when you and me are together, if you are pissed out of your head, for some reason you're like an overprotective like brother. If like someone even comes up to me and says hi, you're straight in the face like, "What are you talking to my mate for?" You're like, "What are you doing here?"
It's because I've been with James Lickford too much. Fucking cunt can't stop fucking starting fights whenever he goes, man. Honestly, we'll be sat in football 1 minute, right, and we'll be fucking having a wee boogie. And then out of nowhere, he'll be talking to somebody, and it'll be getting heated, and I'm like, right up, like, what's going on here, fuck's it. So like, if anyone tries in it, now I'm just like, what?
He's the biggest wind-up bastard on the night out, isn't he? Do you mind when we went to Kilwood on my 21st and the guy let us all sit upstairs? He was just like, "If any of you tries to take we trust you to be up here, but if any of you try to go for the beer taps, you're all getting barred, basically." Like, that's fine. We're happy to be here. The second the boy is like on the stairs, not even left fully, he's like, "Right, I'm jumping over and pouring myself up." I'm like, "Will you fuck jump over that bar? I'm not getting barred here tonight."
I know. That was a good night as well, to be fair. But it was funny as fuck, man. Like, he's a good laugh. He's great to have around, but he's a fucking maniac, which is a big problem.
Must be because he's camped away with like fucking 40 guys all at once.
I know. He's definitely dropped the soap as well, the cunt. He's definitely dropped the soap.
One more thing I wanted to chat to you about was obviously you're a watcher of the Sidemen. Do you ever watch Zerka's, maybe either his streams or his second channel?
Rarely.
Because I see it at the moment, right? So like, I just thought it was like a regular GTA like series he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, have you seen that?
Oh, the roleplay.
Aye, like he's doing like this role play thing at the moment, which I hadn't heard of until like a month beforehand.
You never heard of 5M?
Nah, never.
What a game.
But like, it's just like all these. So like, for those that don't know, it's like GTA with mods in it, and See, well, I mean, obviously it makes it a wee bit glitchier, but like it seems to make the game like so much better. There's so much like more interactiveness about it, which you didn't get.
Yeah.
And all these guys like go online and they have jobs or they're criminals or whatever. They actually follow like proper like role play, so they never break character or that. And it's actually like really interesting. For some reason, I'm actually like hooked on this series at the moment. Every time he's streaming, I'm watching it just because he finds like the wildest fucking characters online that he just chats to. Just like this like I've never been interested in something like that before, but now I really want to give it a try for some reason.
It's just good. One of my mates is in one, and he's called the UK Tony.
UK Tony.
So he always goes in, he always speaks with a proper broad English accent. But I'd like to do it, but you need to fucking sign up for servers and stuff, and like you need to put like, application forms in, all sorts of stuff.
We should do it.
I would definitely do it. I would go in as like an Irish fucking warrior. Like fucking, you're right, man. I'd try and get myself in the police department as well. Only arrest certain individuals.
Takes.
Well, you said it, not me.
Nah, I think like once my computer's fixed, I think we should actually try it because I've watched this. I'm like, this looks so fucking funny. Like the people you find online, you just wonder how they come up with these fucking like backstories, just like absolute crackpots. A lot of them.
I would definitely do it, man. It looks fun as fuck.
Right. Well, when I've got a working PC again, we'll give it a bash. All right.
Yeah, sounds like a fucking Allan.
I can't imagine you and me fucking sticking in character over.
I'd manage it, man. I'm fucking quality at that shit.
You fucking crack me up too much. I'm not sure I'd be able to fucking keep it.
I've served customers being in an Irish accent before.
No, you haven't.
I have, promise you.
Go on, let's hear it.
Well, what do you want me to say though? Do you want me to...
Hi, my name's Jamie. How can I help you today?
All right, my name's Jamie. How can I help today?
It's all right.
Well, I mean, you've got to get into it. You've got to start saying certain stuff, and then eventually it will just start to come to you as easy. But of course, I've served a few customers, and
I've seen you're on offenders.
Aye.
Yeah, you sound like the moth of that.
But no, I've done that before, and then I'd managed to stick to characters because I'm good at that shit.
All right, well, we'll give that a try then for next.
5M. It's good game.
Right. Before we end this, then, is there anything else you want to bring up?
I assume my invite's first class in the post.
Yeah, just hopefully you'll get it at some point. Okay.
Cool. So when's the event?
So it's the 29th of May, and it's at Cumbernauld. It's foot golf. That's the one.
Right.
Yeah, you're driving me up there. We're going up there. Okay.
And is there an invite for the event happening on the 22nd?
Sorry, you're breaking up. What did you say there?
22nd.
I'm sorry, I can't. We're just gonna have to end it there. I can't hear what you're saying. I think the mic's gone potentially.
I'll phone you.
Right. What? Yeah, unfortunately, we've lost Jamie by the looks of it, but hopefully he can still hear me. But yeah, until next time, I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Jamie Allan.
I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests, with two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes, sitting and chatting.